Hello everybody and welcome to another Warzone 2 hybrid commentary gameplay video. My name is Melky and today we are going to be breaking down my personal record in Warzone 2 solos. This is 21 kills with a win. I'm very excited to share this video with you and to share with you guys the steps that I take to secure high kill gameplay wins. So let's jump right into it. Let's break everything down for you. So the first thing to make a note of is that every time I'm dropping into the game, I'm paying attention to where I drop into. I like to drop into the zone so that I don't have to make an early rotation from outside of zone into zone. It really puts you in a bad situation for that early game because you're looting, you're trying to get guns, maybe a loadout, some UAVs, and other people who are already in the zone can hold you out super easily. So that's like kind of the bare minimum. Try to drop inside the zone, get yourself some, good positioning, some good loot, and don't get caught outside of the zone super early game. Later in the game, it's important to try to play the edge of the zone and be that person that's gatekeeping or even making late or kind of late rotations, but we'll talk about that a little bit later in this gameplay. In pretty much every engagement that you're going to see in this video, you're going to notice how I'm playing cover. You're always going to want to move from piece of cover to piece of cover. If you are in the open, you're exposing yourself, and it's not to say that it's not going to happen, but if you are going to be moving out in the open, you have to be very confident that nobody is around you and that nobody's going to be picking you off with an RPK or some sort of a sniper, something like that. So make sure you're playing cover when you do get into the engagements. Try not to be in the open super often. It's just not a good way to play the game. And one really big thing for this game specifically, but any of my high kill games, usually what ends up happening is I get really lucky and I'm able to get a stronghold that's inside the second or even the third zone. The biggest thing with getting these early strongholds that are inside of a zone that stay in the zone for a little bit later in the game is that you get a permanent UAV. So anybody that comes into that bubble, you're able to track down, you know where they are, you never lose that UAV. So you're always able to tell if they're above you, below you, pushing out in the open, whatever it might be. And you'll see I pick up like 9 or 10 kills in this game just because of that permanent UAV and keeping it in the zone for as long as possible. Now, not every game is going to give you the opportunity to do this, but when it does happen and when you are able to capitalize on it, those will become high kill games for you. And of course, I was talking about how you want to make sure that you are playing the edge of zone a little later in the game. And we're probably not there yet in the gameplay that you're watching here, but you want to make sure that you want to be on the edge of the zone because when you play the edge of the zone, you're going to have more opportunity to catch other people who are rotating. But if you're prepared, if you have a gas mask, if you know where you want to rotate and where there's going to be good opportunities to get cover or play maybe inside the gas, use a little bit of your gas mask. If you're prepared for that and other people aren't, they have to run from the edge of the zone just to make it in because they're scrambling, they're struggling, their brain cannot compute how to get into the zone efficiently and effectively. But you're in an advantage, and when you get into that gunfight, they're not going to be expecting it. They don't want to get into a gunfight, but you do in those situations. So play the edge of the zone, either gatekeep people who are going to have to rotate in the open or rotate alongside people and take advantage of their misplay, their missed opportunities earlier in the game to get prepared for that moment. You take advantage of it and you can rip them and absolutely crush with more kills in the game. Now, a big thing to note is you don't want to be in the situation where you're holding somebody edge of zone and you get third partied by somebody else further into the zone, pushing out into you, or if you're playing the edge of gas and you have a long ways to rotate in, maybe it's better to get further ahead before you pick that engagement, but each situation is going to be a little bit different. You'll notice in this game specifically, there's one moment where I'm picking a fight with a guy who's on the edge of the zone. I have a lot of cover and a lot of areas that I can move when I pick this engagement. So somebody else pushing me, unless they are super close and they're pushing me with a shotgun or some of the dual pistols, it's not going to be as much of an issue for me because I have lots of opportunity to move, rotate, hit some cover. I've got a gas mask so I can play the gas a little bit. So this was an example of a good engagement on the edge of the zone. But there are plenty of examples where I take engagements and I definitely shouldn't. I should be focusing more on getting better positioning for a little bit later to either take that guy out or let somebody else take him out. And a huge thing, a massive thing to keep in mind specifically for solos, but a lot of Warzone 2, because it plays so differently from Warzone 1, you are not going to get the majority of your kills in the early game or the mid game. Most of your kills, in fact, probably half of your kills for the entire match are going to come in the last 2 zones when everybody is being crammed and squished together because the zone is getting smaller. And if you have good positioning, good awareness, you're able to maybe third party people or pick engagements where you're not going to get third partied. That is where a lot of your kills are going to come from. And specifically in this game, I think I was getting into the second zone with 13 or 14 kills, which means I had a lot of my kills, you know, mid game. Almost half of my kills, like I said, come from the last 2 zones where I'm just picking people off because they're making bad rotations or because I'm getting some lucky picks on people who are, you know, distracted by other people, essentially third partying. So take advantage of that. And if you're not hitting those high kills by like mid game, you know, zone 3, start of zone 4, don't stress about it because you're going to get pushed into a lot of people. And if you're picking some decent meta weapons and you're able to actually win your gunfights or get into positioning where your gunfight doesn't even matter because you're behind cover, you're going to get a lot of free kills late to end game. Couple little side things to note. This game specifically, I'm using the Chimera AR. This thing shreds, and I highly recommend it as a hybrid mid to long range sniper support type deal. This thing was so much fun to use. I'm really sad that I didn't have the gold camo unlocked on it before I played this game, but I'm so glad I played it because this thing was insane. And that's a big thing, is pick weapons that not only you're comfortable with, but are competitive in the meta. Because if you're using crappy guns, crappy loadouts, you're not going to be able to pick up a lot of high kills frequently, at the very least. You might get lucky with a bot lobby or something, but the majority of your kills are going to come from meta weapons. I was also using the Signal 50 as a sniper, which is the best long range sniper because of its fire rate. So definitely pick good loadouts, use the rotations, use the edge of zone, and it's going to be a high kill game for you. Now, we're probably not quite at the end of the video yet with my commentary, but I'm going to let the rest of what is playing play out. The last 2 minutes of the game for the very end game are uncut, so you can watch the rotations and the engagements that I get into. But if you want to watch this entire 24-minute game and watch everything, dissect every move that I make, all the rotations that I make, and hear the live commentary while I'm playing, that is also going to be uploaded. It's going to be linked, I think up here on this side. It's going to be up there. You can click that and go check it out. It'll be completely uncut. You can play it at 2 times the speed or whatever you want, just to have a look at how the entire game played out. But this chopped up version gives you all the highlights, all the kills, and yeah, I hope you enjoy the rest of this. I get a little bit lucky, I'm not gonna lie. The last couple kills are kind of crazy, but super fun game. Really enjoyed it. If you guys want to watch more of this, I'm live 3 days a week on Twitch and YouTube. You can check out the links in the description down below. Other than that, I love you. I appreciate you. We'll see you guys next time. Enjoy the rest of this video. Peace. Okay. I've got a great pull. Okay. Nice. We got the 20. We got the solo 20. Wait. Oh. I didn't realize there were 2 of you left. Wait, what? Wait, what? 21 W, dude. Oh my god. I actually thought that last guy was the last guy alive, the guy that I downed in the gas. I'm so lucky I did not get absolutely steamrolled